All right, so right now I'm gonna be doing, I know you can't see this totally, but this is the It Takes Two canvases with the cactus. So my example shows the two canvases coming up to each other, and they have these little cute little cactuses in the flower pots. So what I'm gonna do right now is show you how to draw these, and then I'm gonna paint one of them. And so you're gonna do exactly the same thing that I'm about to do. However, you'll be using two canvases. I'm just gonna be doing this on paper right now, and I'm just using one piece of paper, so you can pretend that, you know, I guess I'm gonna draw this line in the middle just to indicate that there are two canvases. Or if you are doing this at home on your own just for fun, that's totally fine too. They both work great. I would grab a pencil, first of all. I'm using a marker because it's easier for you to see. But let's say I'm gonna draw 3 little flower pots. I am gonna start on the left, and I'm gonna make this nice little oval shape. And I'm about halfway down. And we're gonna do that 3 times for 3 little flower pots. If you are using the two canvases, this one in the middle, you're working together to make it go across both of the canvases. Once you have that part, we are gonna draw like a little lip of the flower pot. So I'm just drawing 2 straight lines down on the sides of your ovals. And then we're gonna connect those lines. And it's not a perfect straight line across. You wanna give it a little curve, kind of to match the curve in your oval. And then we'll draw the rest of the flower pot. And all I'm gonna do is, I'm starting on the left side right under that lip we drew. And you go all the way down, and you just need to round the edges. So we'll do that again, just so you can see it. So I'm starting right under this little lip we drew. You draw 2 lines down, and then towards the bottom, you're gonna round those corners, and then they meet together at the bottom. And what else? These 3 little plants, they're sitting on a table, it looks like. So we're gonna draw a straight line in the background, about halfway up your plants. I'm just drawing a straight line there, kind of continue across the whole background. If you have a ruler, that would make it a lot easier. And now we are gonna draw the different plant types. So there's 3 different kinds that I did. We'll start on the left with this cactus shape. So all I'm gonna do is in the top of the potted plant, I'm gonna make a kind of tall cucumber shape or a really skinny rainbow. And I'm leaving just a little bit of space underneath it to put the dirt in the plant. And also, if you're using a pencil, you'll be able to erase this line right here. Since I'm not using a pencil, I can't erase that. All right, so here's your cactus, and then we're gonna put some, I don't know what these are, arms, I guess. And you can also add a flower if you want. Okay, the next shape we do, I'm going to kind of put these together. So if you're doing the canvas take-home kit, you have to work together with your partner. But here is basically the shape. It's kind of like funky hair. But I'm going to kind of start down here at the bottom, leaving a little space for the dirt and the potted plant. And I'm kind of going to make this weird triangle shape. And I'm going to build off of that and keep doing it, but they're getting a little taller. So let's say I make 3 of them. And then I want one that's kind of in the middle. So see how the point is pointing up now? On these ones, they're kind of all going this direction. And then they go straight. And then on this side, our triangles are kind of going the opposite way. So they're just building off of one another, and then they'll connect. So do you see the direction that the points are going? They're all kind of going up and together. All right, let's do this last one. Can you guys see this? This one was kind of simple. I don't know if it actually looks like a real cactus. I mean, it might. I am definitely not a plant expert. But anyway, all you're going to do is draw a circle first. And the key is we need some lines that kind of go in these outward directions to make it look more like a cactus. So I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to make a line this way and then the same thing opposite. I'm going to do that again right here. And maybe even one in the middle. And when you paint that, it's going to look a lot better, I promise. And I'm even going to add one over here outside of the circle. That looks better. And at the top, I'm going to put a nice little funky flower. But if you have little plants at home that you can look at to help you, or if you have a picture of something different that you like, if you don't like any of these, you can totally change it up. If you want to put 2 cactuses maybe on the sides, or whatever this one is, that would be cool too. I am going to paint one of these just to show you. I'm going to paint this one on the side here. I'm going to make it purple. Because there are a few tricks to this. Let's see. So number 1, I'm going to start right in here. When you are painting these, you want them to look round. So instead of just going straight back and forth with the paint, I want my brush to kind of move in that same curvy direction. So I'm starting on the left and going to the right, but I am moving my brush in a curved motion. Try to stay in the lines, but you're also going to take a little bit of white, and in the middle, and now you can see the curves I'm talking about. In the middle, you're going to add some white just by going back and forth, kind of blend it in with that wet purple paint. You're giving it a nice highlight. And that also helps make this look round. So back and forth, curved lines. And it's a slight curve. You might not even be able to tell, but it should make it look more like it's round. You're also going to do that in the top lip part. So put your purple in first. And then add just a touch of white in the middle, like a nice little stripe almost. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush, and I'm going to use a little bit of black. I'm sorry. I'm actually going to use a little bit of brown. So on my tray, I'm going to mix a little brown with purple. And it's just gonna give you a darker purple color kind of. And that's gonna be a shadow. And I'm gonna paint that right under the lip. And a little bit on the sides. And do that up here too. And once you put it in there, you want to kind of blend it together with the other colors. So just kind of put some more purple on your brush and blend those together. And this is just giving an illusion that those spots are darker. Like right under the lip should be darker. You don't need a ton of paint. So if you have the dark spots on the sides and under the lip and the light spots here in the middle, it should look like this is turning a little bit more. All right, what's next? And if you want to try to just paint the whole thing a solid color, that is going to look fine too. You don't have to do the highlights and the shadows. But let's wash your brush off, and we're going to paint this cactus. But first, all I'm going to do is paint it green. You can also be using, you guys can use colored pencils at home or crayons or markers if you don't have paint, or watercolor paints. All right, so once you fill it in, I'm gonna wipe my brush off a little bit, and then I'm gonna take some white and I'm gonna add some stripes. So right in the middle, I'm gonna put a stripe. And my green paint is still wet. And I like that because it's kind of blending the colors together. My next stripe, I'm going to start at the top and just kind of make a round line at the top there. And on the opposite side, do the same thing. It's kind of the same shape as the cactus. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to put one inside here on each of these little cactus arms. If you need to go back with some green to blend it, if it's too white almost, just add some more green to it. That way it kind of blends and makes a light green. And now I'm gonna let's show you this. So that's what this one looks like. I'm also gonna add these nice little dots here. But if you're painting the other little cactus plants, you're going to do the same thing. You're just kind of adding a nice stripe, I guess, of the light green color. Want to give it some texture. For these polka dots that I'm going to add, I'm turning my brush over to the back end, and I'm putting it, just dunking that into the white paint. And now I'm going to put polka dots all along those stripy lines. And you can kind of put as many as you want. Again, these are just some fun details. You could also take a small brush. Where's my small brush? If you wanted it to look more pokey, you could take a small brush and, what shape is this? I guess like a V shape. You can put spikes of the cactus. It looks like a V or something. Or just little dash lines even. And I'm going to, most of the time I paint those flowers pink. But right now I don't have any pink on my palette, so I'm just going to improvise with some purple. Fill that in. And then the last thing I'm going to paint on here is the dirt. So I'm just going to take brown and I'm going to kind of dab the brown like this. I'm going to also throw some white on top, kind of mix the white and brown together. And I'm not too afraid of going outside the lines for this one, because you want it to look like the plant is actually in dirt. So it can look like it's got some texture, it can look like there's so much dirt that it's kind of falling out of the plant or the pot. But I'm just kind of dabbing the paint. Put a little bit too much over here on the cactus. And then if you are still painting at home, you're going to paint your background whatever color you want. My example's pink, and then the table is like a light blue, so I mixed blue and white together. And also, if you want to add one more thing, I kind of forgot about this, you could put a nice little shadow under each plant. And all I'm doing to do that is I'm kind of starting up here or towards the bottom of your pot and making another oval shape around it and coloring it in black. So if you're at home using any materials like paint, colored pencils, markers, it doesn't really matter. Just add a nice little black shadow. And it does give a nice effect, like the plants are actually sitting on a table. All right, I would love to see what you guys came up with. But that is my cactus picture so far.